All right, so here is where we left off. We just finished summing up our total sales that we have for the month. So again, making it a lot more easier, right, to sum up everything instead of breaking it down by individual. We can see that we made a total sales of 30,549 cents. So that's my total sales. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue on. So here we have a sales returns and allowances, a sales discount, delivery income. All of these are going to be main accounts. Okay. Right, because some of these are contra main accounts, right? A contra account could be for both a main or a sub account. So in this case, right, we have our purchase returns and allowances for a total of $19.96, which is the same. So in this case, it's on the debit side. So we need to put that on the debit side. Okay. Then we have a purchase discount. Let's see, purchase discounts. We have a total of $1,900.79. See, that was a lot of money that we could have saved, right? 1,979 cents. Okay? And because it's on the debit side, we're going to copy that over, 1,979 cents, because it's a main account. Okay? Delivery income, right? We delivered to 10 people, right? Invoices 101 all the way to 110. So therefore, we have a total of $300 for delivery income. Delivery income, once again, is an increase because it's generating revenue. So here, we change this to 300. And because it's a main account, it's going to be 300 here. Okay. Okay, let's see. We have no interest income, and that's the last thing that we have there for our revenues. Okay. Next, we have here is our cost of goods sold, right? In this case, we only have two accounts under cost of goods sold, which is the cost of goods sold for the regular coffee and the Supreme coffee. We haven't done the cost of goods sold yet for our ceramic coffee mugs. So that might be, I think we're going to do our adjustments starting next week. Okay. And of course, cost of material, right? We haven't talked about that yet, but it will be something that we're going to talk about next week, where we need to calculate how much coffee cups we sold and how much sugar we used. Okay. So again, that's cost of material, which we don't have anything there. So for now, just do your cost of goods sold account here. So cost of goods sold, right? I'm going to tap on that cost of goods sold regular coffee and insert the main account there. Okay. And cost of goods sold, right? Which we know to be our regular coffee and our Supreme coffee. Now here, let's see how much is the total cost of goods sold for my regular coffee.
Regular coffee, cold cost.
Or in this case was my ending balance in my cost of goods sold for regular coffee account.
23.71.
For my regular coffee?
Regular. 1407.68.
14, good. 1407.68.
760.
Okay. And what is my total cost of goods sold for my Supreme coffee?
1487.60.
Okay, giving me a grand total cost of goods sold to be 2,895.28. Okay, so it's those two combined. And once again, that's all we have for now. Okay. Last section we have here is going to be our expenses. So most of these are main accounts already. Okay, so for example, advertising expense is a main account. Okay. Okay. So here, advertising expense is a main account, which sees right here, we know that it's 185. So I'm just going to head and copy that account right there. So for 185. Okay. We don't have bank fees yet. Okay. Business expense, yes, that's a main account. Okay, business expense. All right, and it's still $1,000, so I'm going to copy that cell over here. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have? We have freight expense. Freight expense right now is $500, so that stayed the same. So that's going to also bring that over here to main account. Okay. Insurance expense is still $195.83. So therefore, I'm just going to copy that cell over. Okay. All right. Then we have labor expense. Okay. So this is broken down to subcontractor labor and temporary labor. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a row above here and name this labor expense. Okay. Which is which is your subcontractor and your temporary labor, right? Subcontractor is still $18.90 and my temporary is still $252. So giving me a grand total of $2,142. Okay. Let's see what is next. License and permit expense. Okay. Is a main account. Oop. Is a main account. Okay. And it is still for $375. So I'm going to copy that cell over, which I did not. Okay, $375. Okay. Our loss on disposal of asset is also a main account, which, right, is still $2,000. So we're going to copy that over. Okay. Then we have office supplies expense, right? We haven't done that yet. It's going to be something we'll learn next week. And then we have payroll expense, which consists of our salaries and wages expense, commissions expense, and our payroll tax expenses. So I'm going to go ahead and insert another row, okay, for payroll expense, okay, which is including my salaries, commissions, and my taxes. Okay. So let's double confirm that none of those values changed. So we have salaries and wages for $544. We have our commissions at $140.18, and we have our payroll taxes for $97.98, giving us a grand total of payroll expenses to be $782.16. Okay. purchase expense, right, is the main account, and purchase returns and allowances is actually going to be a sub account that is a sub-contra account, right, with the purchase discounts as well. So because they reduce the main account, which is the purchase expense. So in this case, what you can do here is, this is what's gonna happen for the next trial balance as well, as this is what we're gonna do. Since purchase expense is a main account, you're going to take your main account and you're going to subtract your contra account. Okay? That's how you sum up your main account. Now in this case, it's up to you if you want to put that in now. You're not required to. You can keep your purchase returns and allowances as a separate account. But once again, under purchase expense, that is under purchase expense. Okay. So we have a total purchase expense of $1,092. Okay. And we have the returns and allowances for $2,224, which gives us an equal of $1,069.96, right? Because purchase returns and allowances decreases the main account, which is the purchase expense. We originally bought $1,092, but we got a refund for $22.24 to give us a grand total of $1,069.96. Okay. And then we have rent expense, and that's it. Everything else we haven't dealt with yet. So rent expense is our last main account here. Which we know to be $1,500. Okay. So this is where you're going to have to do your equal sum stuff here. So equal sum.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we pay the rent like 4 months in advance?
Yes.
So wouldn't that be included?
No, because you're only this is just expenses that you're doing for June. We haven't,
Okay.
and then where did we put that extra rent? We put it into under
Right.
prepaid accounts.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah. So every month that you encounter for whatever that month, that's going to be considered an expense for that month.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So equal sum. Okay. All right. So I got 9826885 for my main accounts. And I'm going to run that formula all the way across. Okay. Obviously, these ones are supposed to be in the other font here. Okay. And let's see, did we match? Okay. So here, I'm going to test my main accounts real quick. Okay. So yes, I match on both ends. So for my main accounts, I should have a total of $98,668.85 for my total debits, which matches my total main account credits as 9866885. Okay. Well, your actual debits and credits, right? Like with all the sub accounts and everything, should be a total of 9869109. Okay, which they both match on both ends. Okay. And that's what I want you guys to do continuing moving forward, is to continue, just keep calculating your main accounts. Now, in this case, this makes it so much easier because I can then that way I don't have to do extra work into adding or subtracting specific accounts, right? I already have the account listed, every single account. I'm just making sure that I have areas where I just sum up them so then I can just create my trial balances a lot easier. Okay, so instead of having to go to the main account, add every single number, punching it into the calculator and equaling it some that way, right? In this case, I'm making it that way. Now, what you can do too, if you want it to be aesthetically pleasing, you can go ahead and hide your cells if or your main accounts if you'd like. I noticed that some students do that, where after they figure out what their bank account is, they can go ahead and click checking, petty cash, and cash in. Oops, I hit the wrong one. Sorry. Let me go back to that. Okay, so they can click on checking. Okay, they can click on petty cash, and they can click on hold on, I can't click it for some reason. So they click cash and register, petty cash, and checking here, and they can right click it and they can hide it. So then all they see is just their main account. Now, of course, we know, right, what those numbers are because they're still there. Notice this. I have 5, and then it jumps right over to 9. Okay, and you could also do that for the columns too. If I click the letter C to highlight that whole row, I can also hide that information as well. I'm not deleting, so be careful. I'm not deleting, I'm just hiding it. So therefore, I have B that jumps right over to C. Right over to D. So it hides all of my, sub numbers, but it still keeps the calculations there. All right. All you do is just hide in the material so then you don't see it pop up, and that's what I mean by doing it this way, because when with Excel, you can manipulate the worksheet to show exactly what you want to show. In this case, if I want to show just only my main accounts, I can go ahead and hide all of my sub accounts, and it will work that same way too. Okay? And of course, if you want to undo that, you can always click on that line right there, and you'd be able to unhide. Okay, so or what you can do is you could just click and drag, and you should be able to pull all of those cells back there as well, all those rows and columns. Okay, so that's what you can do, and that's the great thing about having Excel being able to do those things for you, is that, again, I created a worksheet that can be used in multiple ways. I can hide my sub accounts, or I can just only display my main accounts, or I can show every single account. So in this case, we in QuickBooks, right, we learned that as collapse. Okay, where you can collapse all of your information here. And again, for those who haven't taken QuickBooks, you'll understand when we do our reports. You can have where you can collapse each account and display every detail. And that's exactly what we're doing here with the Excel spreadsheet right now. Okay? And that's what you can do. So if you want to hide all your sub accounts, go ahead and do that. If not, I'm going to leave this worksheet the way it is, because when we insert when we do our adjusted trial balance, we're going to be using the same worksheet, plugging in all of those extra numbers in there in the sub accounts, and we're going to recalculate some of the main accounts here. So yes, so we matched on both ends here for both debits and credits. Okay, all right. Any questions in regards to the unadjusted trial balance? Okay, so I don't know if this is going to be considered level like advanced level of accounting, but it's really cool what you could do with technology and how Excel can be able to do these things for you, especially for accounting. It just makes it that much more easier to create your spreadsheets and et cetera, et cetera. Okay. All right, if there are no extra questions, again, what I'm going to have you guys do is we're going to start the adjustments next week on Monday, okay?